हेलो गाइस। यार मैं दूसरी बार रिकॉर्ड कर रहा हूँ। पहली बार पूरा 20-25 मिनट बोला था मैं, फिर मतलब देख ही रहे हो इतना सब लिख दिया। और फिर रिकॉर्डिंग चेक करने गया तो पता चला कि 2 मिनट बाद किसी का कॉल आया और उसके बाद रिकॉर्डिंग बंद हो गया, तो मैंने 23 मिनट ऐसे ही गंवा दिया। चलो ठीक है, अभी अभी तो सिम विम सब बंद कर दिया है, तो फुल चालू हो जाए। तो टुडेस टॉपिक इज हाँ, टाइम पीरियड्स। हाउ लॉन्ग डज अ प्लैनेट टेक टू मेक वन रेवोल्यूशन अराउंड इट्स पेरेंट स्टार। सर्कल के केस में बड़ा आसान है क्योंकि उसमें स्पीड कांस्टेंट है एक तो, दूसरा रेडियस भी कांस्टेंट है। मतलब हाँ, रेडियस भी कांस्टेंट है, एक गिवन रेडियस होता है। तो उसमें हम आराम से लिख सकते हैं कि स्पीड कांस्टेंट है तो टाइम पीरियड इज 2πr/v, 2πr/v एंड बाय न्यूटन्स लॉज gmm/r² इज mv²/r। तो इससे क्या पता चलता है कि जो टाइम पीरियड है वो आता है सर्कल के केस में t = 2π√r³/gm, ऐसे आता है। ठीक है, बड़ा अच्छा आता है। ठीक है, r इज द रेडियस ऑफ द सर्कल एंड m इज द मास ऑफ द स्टार, ऐसा आता है। लेकिन अभी अगर प्लैनेट एलिप्स में घूम रहा है तब क्या करेंगे, क्योंकि वहाँ पे तो स्पीड भी फिक्स्ड नहीं है, स्पीड फिक्स नहीं है। और तो और सर्कल में तो एक गिवन रेडियस डिफाइंड होता है कि हम जब सेंट्रीपिटल एक्सेलरेशन लिख रहे हैं तब mv²/r लिख देंगे। लेकिन एलिप्स के केस में तो कोई डिफाइंड रेडियस भी नहीं है ना, वो एक सर्कल में नहीं घूम रहा है, तो हमें एक एक इंस्टेंट पे उसका रेडियस ऑफ कर्वेचर जानना पड़ेगा ताकि हम न्यूटन्स लॉज लिख सकें। तो एक तो रेडियस भी फिक्स नहीं है और स्पीड भी फिक्स नहीं है, तो t = 2πr/v तो लिख नहीं सकते हैं। तो फिर इसके बावजूद भी हम कैसे टाइम पीरियड निकालें, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन। ठीक है, मैं दिखाता हूँ, लेकिन यार इसके लिए थोड़े एलिप्स से रिलेटेड प्रॉपर्टीज जानने बेनिफिशियल होंगे, अब हमारा काम छोटा हो जाएगा उससे। सो कुछ बेसिक प्रॉपर्टीज जानने पड़ेंगे एलिप्स के बारे में। एक तो ये है कि इस सिचुएशन में अगर ये लेंथ a है और ये लेंथ b है, राइट, इसको सेमी मेजर एक्सिस बोलते हैं एलिप्स का, इसको सेमी माइनर, पर खैर वो छोड़ो। इस केस में इक्वेशन ऑफ एलिप्स इज x² + y² + b² = 1, सिंपल। ठीक है, दूसरा चीज है कि किसी भी रैंडम पॉइंट को, ठीक है, इसको मैं a कह रहा हूँ, a, we can express it in the form a cos theta, b sin theta. It will always lie on the ellipse, right? तो एक और चीज ये हो गया। Also जो प्लैनेटरी मोशन होता है उसमें सन फोकस पे रहता है। फोकस एक ऐसा पॉइंट है जो सेंटर ऑफ एलिप्स से AE डिस्टेंस पे है, where E is less than 1, right? तो दिस इज AE। वो E क्या है उसमें नहीं जाएंगे अभी, बट एलिप्स के लिए E is less than 1। ठीक है, अब एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज है कि इस इधर b² जो है दैट इज a² × 1 - e²। इसके प्रूफ में नहीं जाएंगे अभी, बस अभी के लिए बस रिजल्ट यूज कर लेंगे। b² = a² × 1 - e²। ठीक है, दिस इज वन इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग। दूसरा चीज, अगर मैं a पॉइंट को ही देखूं तो इक्वेशन ऑफ नॉर्मल एट a, अगर मैं नॉर्मल बनाऊं इस इधर इस जगह जो कर्व है उसके परपेंडिकुलर, उसका इक्वेशन क्या होगा मैं बता रहा हूँ। उसका इक्वेशन होगा x sin θ/b - y cos θ/a equals sin θ cos θ into a/b minus b/a. What is this? This is equation of normal at a, normal to the ellipse at a, right? This is second important thing. Third important thing is area bound by ellipse is equal to pi AB. We'll be using these three things. ठीक है, तो इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए हम काम पे आते हैं कि how do we find the time period in case of elliptical orbits. Now I had mentioned that velocity, I mean speed v of the planet revolving in an elliptical orbit is not constant, it keeps changing, but there is one quantity which is constant, and that quantity is angular momentum. And what we are interested in, angular momentum of planet P, the center of mass of planet P, of the angular momentum of P about the sun S, right? I'll denote this by L. Now I'm considering the sun, since it's much heavier than the planet, I'm considering it to be stationary. So I can easily conserve, without any tension of pseudo force, the angular momentum of P about S. How is angular momentum conserved? If we assume the star to be stationary, right? The planet is here, okay, or anywhere, wherever it is on the ellipse. The force, right, the only force on the planet is the gravitational force, and it is radially inward. So the radius vector and the force are making an angle 180 degrees with each other. So the torque of this gravitational force is 0. So the angular momentum of P about S is conserved, right? What does that mean? That means that if I choose any point, then about each point the angular momentum of P about S will be same, right? So that is an important thing. So L is a constant. Now another important thing is Kepler's law. What it states is dA by dt is L by 2m. The L being what I had mentioned before. What is dA by dt? dA by dt, A is the area, okay? So dA will be area traced by planet P with respect to the sun. So if the sun is here and the planet P is here and it moves like this, then this will be the area traced by the planet in time dt, okay? So let's say this angle is d theta, okay? I'm showing you the proof of this. You'll be wondering, how is this true, right? So I'll show you the proof. Let this be r. This will be r plus dr, something like that. It won't be significantly different, this length. So we can approximate this to be a circle, the sector of a circle. This area will be negligible. We can approximate this entire area to be the area of a sector of a circle, neglecting this insignificant area, right? So what does that give us? That the area of this thing is half r square d theta. That is what dA is. Therefore dA by dt is, I'll write it a little differently. I'll write it as 1 by 2m into mr square d theta by dt. d theta by dt is omega. So I'll write it as m omega r square. This is nothing but L. So dA by dt is L by 2m. So we proved that also. Proven, whatever. Yeah. So dA by dt is L by 2m. Okay, we will be using this. How? Let me rearrange that and write 2m by L into dA equals dt. Now I'll integrate on both sides. What I'll get is, at time t equals 0, area traced by P is 0. At time t equals capital T, time period, area traced is pi AB. The area of an ellipse is pi AB. It will have traced an area pi AB like this. right? From that I'll get 2m by L into pi AB equals time period, right? Let me use eccentricity here, right? I said b square equals a square into 1 minus e square. So let me use that and put that here. What I'll get is AB is a square root 1 minus e squared. So this is equal to the time period. Now notice all these things are given to us, 2m by a square root 1 minus e square. All these things are given except L. We need to find L. That is the only task remaining. Okay, I'll write this down in the corner. Okay, 2m by L. This is the time period. We need to find L now. How do we do that? Now remember I said L is conserved. L is angular momentum of center of mass of P about S. That is conserved. So that means I can choose any point and calculate the angular momentum somehow at that point. And with that information I will have known the angular momentum L at all the points on the ellipse. So I can choose any point I like, calculate L over there, and my job will be done. I choose this point. It's the most convenient point, and you will see why. I want to calculate L about this point. What is L? L is R cross P, right? So if we use that, we will get here magnitude of angular momentum L is m into v into this distance a plus ae. So I can write that as a into 1 plus e. Now we have only one thing to do, find v, because all these other things are known. Now let's find v. To find v, I'll write Newton's second law. Gmm by a plus ae the whole square equals mv square by r, where r is the radius of curvature of this circle. Why are we using radius of curvature? Because I'm considering a small time interval here, okay? A small time interval where this planet will trace a small arc like this. Now we can assume that this arc belongs to some circle of some radius, right? So actually it's moving on an ellipse, but in that small time interval we can't tell the difference between whether it's moving on an ellipse or a circle of this radius. So let us consider that in that small interval of time, the particle, the planet, is actually moving on this circle, right? It's moving on this circle. Now that means this is the arc of a circle, right? And all normals to the circle meet at the center. So normal at this point on the x-axis, right? This initial starting point 0 or B, let's call it, right? Normal to the circle at B, which is the x-axis, and normal to the circle at point C over here, right? They both should meet at the center. Okay? Alright. So now I will name this point C as A cos alpha, comma B sin alpha, because it lies on the ellipse, so we can do that. I will name C as this. Now I had written the equation for normal to the ellipse, and normal to this circle here is the same as normal to the ellipse at that point, because the arc length is the same. So what is the normal to the ellipse there? According to the result I had written, normal, the equation of the normal is x sine alpha by b minus y cos alpha by a is sine alpha cos alpha into a by b minus b by a. Now that is normal at C. Normal at B is y equals 0 because it is simply the x-axis, right? Okay. So what do we get from this? From the intersection point of these two normals, we will get the center of that imaginary circle to which we imagine this arc length to belong to. So if we find that center, we can find the radius of that circle, hence the radius of curvature. So if I solve these two, I'll get y equals 0, so I can remove this term. This is erase it. Right? So solving these two equations, I'll get this. Now sin alpha is common and it's not 0, so we can just remove them. Right? And cos alpha, notice that this point is very close to the x-axis. So alpha will be tending to 0. It will be tending to 0. So cos alpha will be tending to 1 and we can approximate it to be 1. Therefore x will be b times a by b minus b by a. So that is a square minus b square by ab into b, which is a square minus b square by a. Now remember I had written b square is a square minus a square e square. If we rearrange, we'll simply get that this thing is equal to a square e square, and when divided by a, that gives us a e square. That is the coordinate of the center of the circle. I'll name it t. So the coordinate of the center of the circle is t, a square e square comma 0. Okay, and we know that this starting point B, which I had named B, has coordinate b a comma 0, right? And B lies on the circle. Therefore the radius of the circle R will be a into 1 minus e square. A into 1 minus e square will be the radius of the circle. Okay, now let's use this. Now our job is done because we know everything. Remember, R is a into 1 minus e square. So let's write Newton's laws again quickly. Gmm by a plus ae the whole square is mv square by r, and r is a into 1 minus e square. Let me just simplify this and I'm gone. I'll get v square is gm by a into 1 minus e by 1 plus e, right? Therefore velocity speed is equal to root of gm by a into root of 1 minus e by 1 plus e. Okay, but L is, as I had written, mv into a into 1 plus e, right, which we have to put here. So L will be, let me just convert this, let me multiply this by m on both sides, right? Okay, now I'll multiply by a. If I multiply by a on both sides, a goes to the numerator here. Now if I multiply by 1 plus e, the LHS becomes L. What I'm doing is I'm multiplying on both sides to get L on the LHS. Now if I multiply 1 plus e on the left and right, 1 plus e cancels out here and I get 1 plus e in the top, which gives me root of 1 minus e square. So this is angular momentum L. M root gma root 1 minus e square. Now we have only to put the value in. Therefore time period equals 2m by value of L is m root g capital M a root 1 minus e square, and on the top we have pi a square root 1 minus e square. Beautifully, the root 1 minus e squares cancel out, m cancels out, and we are left with a square and root a cancel to give a to the power 3 by 2. If we simplify that, we get t is 2 pi root of a cube by gm, where a is the length of the semi-major axis. What is this? Length of the semi-major axis. If this is the ellipse, right, this is what a is. This is called semi-major axis. This is actually the farthest point from the center, I think. Yeah, this is the farthest point from the center of the ellipse. So this distance a is what we are using here. Now this looks exactly like that in case of a circle. Notice that the term e does not come anywhere, which means the eccentricity of the ellipse does not matter. As long as e is between 0 and 1, it's okay. So if e is 0, you know what? It becomes a circle. And the same result holds. It becomes a circle of radius a. And the same result that we showed in the beginning, 2 pi root r cube by gm, that also holds. Right? So remember this for your competitive exams. I think this is quite useful. T is 2 pi root a cube by gm. Okay? Thank you.